it's a bit of an awkward setup. I didn't expect to be in this. It's like being in virtual reality, being able to walk around, which may actually be fitting because the title of my speech was not Space as a Service. It was actually Space, the Final Frontier, and I had this whole thing prepared about how space is the final frontier. And I'm not a Trekkie, not really, but growing up in California as a geeky teenager, I couldn't avoid being bitten by this sci-fi bug. And when we started Knotel, this idea of space as the final frontier has acquired a new meaning. Because space is everything that surrounds us. We live in real estate. Everything that we do, all decisions that we make are in real estate. We work and sleep and shop. All of it happens so far happens in the physical environment. Even though we may be on our mobile phones, texting, we're still physical objects. So as a technology entrepreneur, it's very interesting to me how we're unlocking the amazing potential of this market. And I wanted to talk about Knotel a little and the market as a whole and where we see the market going and where we see our product going. Should I turn? I feel like I should be moving around. It's weird. I'm spinning. I have my back to some people. Yeah. All right. So, Knotel was almost accidental. I met my partner and co-founder at Knotel, Amol Sarva, who is the CEO of the business, about 6 years ago. And about a week later, we started working on a software company. That software company was supposed to change how collaboration is done. And we thought that we're both seasoned entrepreneurs. He founded Virgin Mobile in the States, and I founded a couple companies. I was the founding investor of Delivery Hero, which is a large food ordering business, and many other companies. And we thought that we would build a vast global enterprise. So for the two of us, we took a large space. It was about 5,000 square feet. And we had two desks there. His desk was one side of the office. My desk was another. They were beautiful metal desks. And we realized that the space is a little large for the two of us, and we couldn't hire people fast enough. We needed to pay rent for the space, and we filled it up with friends. And these friendly companies started growing. And with little time, one of the companies told us that they need the whole floor. And somewhat serendipitously, another floor appeared in the same building. And the owner of the building said, well, you did so well with that other floor, which was the 5th floor of the building. Maybe you should take on the 6th floor. And we took on the 6th floor. We designed it in the same way the other floor was designed. And that whole company moved in. They were super happy. And we didn't take this seriously. We didn't spend any money on it and didn't really think of it as a business. We're working on our software company. It had thousands and thousands of users. We had enterprise clients that were paying us. And we were both software guys. So what did we know about real estate? But we looked at the numbers and thought, that's interesting. This strange real estate thing is spewing money and actually feeding our software business. Maybe we should take it seriously. And around that time, I read about WeWork. I didn't know about co-working, and I didn't know that WeWork existed until they raised hundreds of millions. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. There's this huge co-working business that's raising a lot of money and attracting a lot of attention. And we looked at them. We looked at New York, and there were 143 other co-working businesses open and operating. And we thought, well, we it's an interesting space, but it's very crowded, so maybe we shouldn't do co-working. But what we realized is that companies want flexibility. And we decided to design a product that would provide them with access to flexible space or to office space without being tied down with a lease. And we took on another floor in the same building. And then within the next 3.5 years, we opened another 200 locations across 8 cities in 8 global capitals. So we have more than 100 locations in New York. We have about 45 in San Francisco, a couple in LA, which we launched recently. We have 45 across Europe, in London, Paris, and Berlin. We will soon be in Dublin, Amsterdam, and many other places. In fact, we realize that wherever office works, Knotel works better. Companies want flexibility. And the whole premise of our existence is based on the fact that enterprise, which is our main customer, we work with large global companies like Microsoft and IBM and Starbucks and Netflix and many, many others. The enterprise has never taken workspace seriously. They never saw it as a competitive advantage. They never thought that it would be of strategic importance. You don't see or you don't think of management teams sitting around the table and thinking that we need to be number one in office. And we do. We want to be number one in office, and we want to provide that service to larger companies and enable them to focus on other things. For years, enterprise has thought about office as a place to house employees, sort of like barracks for the troops. And in fact, what they need is tools and technologies, and this is what we're trying to provide, a platform that would ultimately make the workspace the engine of progress for these companies. So we thought that we can build a large company, and we sort of are building a largish company. I think we may be at 1% or less than 1% of where we want to be. There are 10,000 buildings in New York which we've identified as buildings where Knotel could work well, and we're in 100 of them, so we are at 1% of New York. We're not even close to 1% of London or any other city. But we will get there. We'll get to a couple percentage points. I heard someone mention in the previous session that WeWork is responsible for 25% of space in New York, or co-working is 25% of space in New York. It's completely not true. New York is a well-developed market, but not even as developed as London. London is maybe 8-9% flexible. New York is closer to 2-3% flexible. And WeWork has about 1% of that, a little more than 5 million square feet. Knotel has about 2 million, and we'll probably get to 4 and then 8 and 10 within the next quarters. So why does Knotel work? And why are we so bullish on the idea of providing workspace as a service, and why do I think it's the final frontier? We, being technology entrepreneurs, both Amol and I started this company in the real estate space, and we do touch real estate, obviously. But we started with the idea of innovating and really automating some of the processes. So we've built some of the most efficient machines in the world for taking space, so working with owners and growing our presence, fitting it out and building it out, and then managing that space. And first, all of these processes were done by hand, and then we started optimizing and automating them. And we will continue to apply those methods of automation to everything that we do. And I guess that's that and the people that we have gathered to help us do this. are what makes Knotel tick. I didn't have a long speech prepared because I thought it may be more interesting to make this interactive. And I wanted to open this to questions.
What automation do you have in mind when you said that you use automation in your space?
So there are three touch points for us with every space. We get the space, we fit it out, and then we fill it. And then we manage it. Four. But from the customer perspective, it's three. So when we get the space, we actually we started doing it by hand, working with owners, getting into long deals, working with brokers that helped us. And then we acquired a company called 42 Floors, which is the leading search engine for office. It's similar to Zoopla, but for office space, if you haven't seen it. And with 42 Floors, we were able to get access to amazing amounts of data on space. And we've built a data-driven process for doing deals in the real estate space. And now, because Knotel looks a lot like the market, with more than 100 buildings in New York, we have the widest variety of floor plates that are available in the market, more than any owner does. And we know where we want to be, and we know what the availability is, and we're able to predict a lot about the spaces, so we can negotiate the deals much faster. And we've built a machine that allows owners to plug in information, or brokers to plug in information about the space, upload pictures, and then within 24 hours we give them terms, and then we sign a deal within 30 days, which is really fast for the real estate space. And then the way we build out is also very different. We don't change the use case of the spaces. Office continues to be office, we just make it better. And we've built the spaces from a variety of modular components. So we've replaced a lot of construction with assembly. In most cases, it's 60–70% assembled. So things arrive flat-packed, movable walls, modular furniture sets, modular conference rooms. And we've built a supply chain system that allows us to source these items and manufacture them at scale. And then on the management part, we built lots of technologies that allow our general managers of the spaces to be able to cover a lot more space than a typical office manager would. So every general manager at Knotel covers maybe 100,000 square feet of space. They roam from one location to another. And whenever they see something that doesn't work, they press a button, and then, like with the fire department, a team that needs to fix IT or fix whatever is wrong with the space appears, or cleaning, or changing coffee, providing more water, getting toilet paper. We do all of that. We're a complete solution from getting space to getting toilet paper. And we automate it every step of the way.
Okay, maybe one more. Is anybody, one final question before we draw to a close? Yeah, on the front there.
With such a huge customer base, are you looking at using technology to provide additional revenue streams on top of your license fees and rental fees?
So you may be referring to what co-working companies do when they try to upsell different services to their members. Many of our customers already have a variety of those services. So a lot of the perks we actually provide for free. And at the same time, we are partnering with our enterprise customers on how we deal with not just with their places, but also with their people. Ultimately, our goal is to make their people more productive, make their teams more efficient, lower their recruitment costs, increase retention. That's how we can measure our success. That's how we measure the NPS of Knotel, the sentiment that the employees of our customers have towards the space. And there are many opportunities to optimize our customers' businesses. And the more we work with them, the more we will be able to offer those. But at the core level, we want to provide a workspace that functions for them as the engine of progress, that allows them to leverage that space as a tool, that may feel more like home than an office, that doesn't feel like a work gym, but feels like a space where they can be creative and innovative.
Okay, that's a nice point to finish on. Join me in thanking Edward for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you sticking around?
I'm sticking around.
Yeah.